This week on the Presidential Diary, gracing the 21st congregation of the University of Education, Winneba, President Akufo-Addo announces the reintroduction of teacher trainees allowance in September 2017.
I'm committed to ensuring the teachers get better pay, better working conditions, a more secure retirement, and the respect of their fellow citizens.
In the office of Ambassador.
4 new ambassadors, 1 high commissioner. President Akufo-Addo urged them to remember vividly the slogans of his government's flagship programs.
The onerous responsibility of preserving and promoting the image of a country whose reputation today is high amongst the Committee of Nations.
Later in the program, Nigeria's acting president, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, invites President Akufo-Addo to address one of Africa's most respected military training institutions, the Nigerian Defense College in Abuja. Hello, I'm Jefferson Saki and welcome to the Presidential Diary, brought to you by the Communications Directorate here at the Presidency in Accra. Winneba in the Central Region was a focal destination on the President's diary on Saturday, July 29, 2017. His mission there, gracing the 21st congregation of the University of Education, Winneba. The President again stressed on government's commitment to provide quality education to Ghanaians by making research and innovation the heart of education in Ghana. And to the graduating class, he congratulated them for surmounting the academic hurdles and coming out victorious. Drumming and dancing, a display of Winneba's cultural heritage, welcomed dignitaries to the congregation. This is the first congregation the President is attending since assuming office. The University of Education, Winneba, was established in 1992. Its main aim is to train teachers for the education system of Ghana.
Second class upper division.
This is the 21st congregation of the university.
You, our soon-to-be alumni, are a profoundly critical human resource which will propel and showcase our contribution to educational development and progress in Ghana and abroad. Your abilities, your competencies, your selflessness and your passion, as well as the unique knowledge and skills acquired over the years, are meant to position you to more effectively and efficiently discharge your professional obligation to the set standards in the teaching profession, such as lesson delivery, choice of instructional media, punctuality, and you know why I'm stressing that? Innovativeness, devotion, and the desire to help bright, average, and struggling students, all of them. I'd like to urge you to exhibit professionalism in the conduct of your occupation, which is also a vocation.
This is the very first congregation of any university in the country I'm attending as president. As President of the Republic, perhaps as it should be, since it appears that the colors of the university bear a striking resemblance to the colors of my party.
It was on that light note that President Akufo-Addo started his keynote address, reverberating his government's commitment to provide quality education to Ghanaians by making research and innovation the heart of education in Ghana.
As a policy, My government is going to partner and support UEW, as well as all the other public universities in the country, with the aim of raising and improving standards so as to be able to compete with the best on the continent. Research and innovation will be at the heart of education in Ghana. This will ensure that our graduates from our educational institutions enter the labor market well equipped with skills of good-paying jobs.
On the teaching profession, President Akufo-Addo reaffirmed the government's stance to restore the vocation as an attractive career choice. He used the opportunity to announce the reintroduction of teacher trainees allowance in September 2017.
Government intends to restore the teaching profession to the status it once enjoyed and make it an attractive career choice. Teaching must no longer be seen as a stopgap measure or a job of last resort, but as a viable choice to enter a well-paid, well-respected profession with long-term career prospects and good benefits. Accordingly, government intends to facilitate teacher training nationwide, as well as special incentives for them, such as support for teachers to acquire their own homes, in collaboration with the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAGRAT, and other teaching associations to facilitate an affordable housing scheme for teachers. We will also support teachers to enroll in distance education programs to boost their capacity. This is in line with our policy of motivating teachers and rewarding their hard work in the classroom. It is for this reason the government from September is reintroducing the teacher training allowance that was cancelled by the previous government.
On recent development in the university, the president had a word.
I'm aware of the recent happenings at UEW. Disturbing as they were, it is noteworthy that it appears that finality is being brought to bear on the matters. The current challenges, in my view, can be best surmounted if all stakeholders act within the confines of the law and respect the rule of law. Court decisions are not always pleasant, but they are in principle the surest way of resolving disputes. Let us not through our utterances, actions, and inactions undermine the authority of our courts. I am by this urging the newly constituted Governing Council to do all within its power to see to an amicable settlement of all matters currently pending before the Winneba High Court. In the same vein, the chairperson of the Governing Council must urgently ensure that the Council puts in place measures to seal all loopholes of waste and the abuse of public funds. I encourage all lecturers to resume full academic duties and use the university's processes to resolve any outstanding grievances. I wish you the very best of luck.
In wrapping up, President Akufo-Addo congratulated the graduating class for surmounting the academic hurdles and coming out victorious. He charged them to build an educational system for this new century that will produce the future Ghanaian, confident, productive, and in demand worldwide. And here are some other key activities at the presidency. The president of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, paid a courtesy call on President Akufo-Addo. He commended the president for setting a clear tone upon assuming office and for encouraging private enterprises and recent economic developments.
For the way in which, since you've taken office, you have set a very clear tone, very clear direction about where the country needs to go, but also in terms of how the affairs of the country will be managed to both enhance the image of the country, but also the standing of Ghana with the global international financial community. I must really commend you for the growth that I'm beginning to see. The economy is going to grow this year at 6.3%, and next year about 7.4%. And the medium-term outlook is really great, about 9.2%. So you've always said you want Ghana back. I think that is what exactly it would be for Ghana to be back. And also one thing that you've also said, sir, is the issue of Ghana without aid. And I think that kind of a growth trajectory is exactly what's needed for a Ghana without aid.
We're 100% in sync. And
Their discussion focused on how to grow the country's economy, as well as ways that banks can also contribute to national development. On Wednesday, the 2nd of August 2017, the President of the Republic swore into office 4 ambassadors and 1 High Commissioner at a ceremony here at the Flagstaff House in Accra. The 5 persons who received their letters of credence, according to the President, have distinguished themselves in their various fields of endeavor.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
The newly appointed ambassadors are Mrs. Dufie Ejaku-Kusi, an experienced international public servant who is to represent Ghana in the vibrant Republic of Korea. Madam Virginia Hesse, a respected former senior civil servant, is going to Prague, the Paris of Central Europe in the Czech Republic.
Our High Commissioner designate to Kenya.
Mrs. Francisca Ashite Oduntun, a well-known media practitioner, is now Ghana's High Commissioner to Kenya. While Mr. Leo Kaba, a seasoned lawyer and politician, is now Ghana's ambassador to the Republic of Benin. The 5th is Professor Abena Buzia, an internationally acclaimed academic and poet, is now Ghana's ambassador to the giant of South America, Brazil.
You represent a country that, as a result of the commendable conduct of the Ghanaian people, is regarded as one of the most stable on the continent, which is a functioning democracy governed by the rule of law and respect for individual liberties, human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. We are regarded as the beacon and standard bearer of democracy in Africa. And recently, in April, according to the reputable RMB Global Markets Research, the 4th best place to invest and do business in on the African continent. You are the most visible symbol of our country out there, and in all your actions and deeds, you must guard jealously our country's image. I'm confident this is a charge you will uphold. I was elected in the elections of December 2016 because the Ghanaian people were dissatisfied with their living standards and were not happy with the direction in which the economy, and indeed the country, was headed. One of our biggest challenges is to fix the economy we inherited. They voted for us to fix the economy and put our country on the path of progress and prosperity. Indeed, we've begun to fix the economy. And the mid-year review presented on Monday by the brilliant Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, shows that we are on track. We will fix the economy. We will bring jobs and prosperity to Ghana.
It is an awesome thing to be charged to stand in the steps of your president and represent your country amongst nations abroad. The 5 of us here represent our history so far after 60 years. A High Commissioner to an East African country, and ambassadors to a West African, an Asian, a European, and an American country. We represent the globe, and you have just heard the charge we have to build on that history, first of all by protecting the present. Amongst our charges are those thousands of our, millions rather, I should say, of our fellow countrymen and women whose footsteps have led them to these various places. Ours is now the charge to make sure that what has been built before is built on well, and that those people are well represented and taken care of.
You're still watching the Presidential Diary, brought to you by the Communications Directorate at the Presidency. And still to come on this program. Nigeria's acting president, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, invites President Akufo-Addo to address one of Africa's most respected military training institutions, the Nigerian Defense College in Abuja. Highlights after the break.
From the four winds and our only sea, we heard of the past. But now we see the future being birthed from our fertile hand. Telltale scars of time and tears, and of how we beat at worst fears. It's been 60 years already. 6 youthful decades of hard work, sacrifice and hope. Laboring to create this golden harbor to launch our ships. Toiling night and day to keep our stars sparkling bright. It all happened so quickly, and today we stand tall, young and old, heroes in our own right, chanting our mother song, God bless our homeland, Ghana. From Accra to Zabzugu, from our airports up to our zongos, we have played our part in this communal harvest. Red of blood, gold of wealth, green of earth. We have farmed, traded, hunted and plied the seas. We have made our name through the blood and toil of our fathers. We who have held the throbbing heart of Africa. I am a Ghanaian and I pledge. We stand together, holding hands, joining hearts. We step forward as one, mobilizing for Ghana's future.
Welcome back to the Presidential Diary. Nigeria's acting president, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, invited President Akufo-Addo to share his thoughts on economic integration and regional security in Africa. The president accepted the invitation and addressed one of Africa's most respected military training institutions, the Nigerian Defense College in Abuja, Nigeria. Nigeria's highest military command, accompanied by the country's foreign minister, received President Akufo-Addo at the airport. The National Defense College in Abuja is the apex military training institution for the Nigerian Armed Forces and a center of excellence for peace support operation trainings at the strategic level in West Africa. Its mission is to impart knowledge and develop expertise and skills of selected senior military and civilian officers. Acting Nigerian President Professor Yemi Osibanjo received President Akufo-Addo at the Aso Rock, the seat of government in Nigeria. In a brief meeting, the acting president thanked President Akufo-Addo for granting the invitation and for showing total commitment to the ECOWAS project and making the security of members of the sub-region and that of Africa a priority. Rear Admiral S.I. Alade, Commandant of the National Defense College in Abuja, received President Akufo-Addo on behalf of the college.
Topic of today's lecture, as well as the speaker, were carefully chosen because of their potentials to contribute significantly towards the molding of future strategic leaders in our continent. This is because Africa is home to most of the least developed countries in the world. It suffers from poor infrastructure, limited trade, limited foreign direct investment, huge debts, rampant corruption, and of course, mismanagement. You are not only the Silver Jubilee cause, you also have the privilege of having the president of one of the most fastest growing economies in the world deliver a lecture to you. I am actually very happy that this is happening in our time.
If we consider the benefits.
Delivering the key graduation lecture, President Akufo-Addo noted that the success is being chalked as a result of the collaboration taking place, especially among countries on the continent in the fight against terrorism, is significant.
A broomstick on its own can easily be broken, but together a broom cannot be broken, unquote. I.e., in unity lies strength. African countries are cooperating in the fight against terrorism and achieving results, and this should spur us on in our collective drive towards an integrated and united Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, in making reference to the success of the EU once again, let me recount that in 2012, the EU was given the Nobel Peace Prize for its role in, quote, the advancement of peace and reconciliation, democracy and human rights in Europe, unquote. Quote, transforming most of Europe from a continent of war to a continent of peace, unquote, and the successful struggle for peace and reconciliation and for democracy and human rights. It is widely acknowledged that the EU has helped prevent war amongst its current members since the end of World War II in 1945. History tells us that Britain, France, Germany, and Italy had for centuries waged wars over religion, territory, and power. Thus, the creation of a free market, concealing economic and geographical borders, would erode the justification for using war as the quickest avenue to wealth and power, and lessen its appeal. That was the vision that inspired the idea behind the European Economic Community, now the EU, in 1957. We should be inspired by this in Africa and hasten efforts towards our integration. If Europe, through the formation of the EU, was able to stop the vicious cycle of violence that had plagued them for centuries and lead them onto the path of advancement, wealth and prosperity for all, Africa can no longer do that. Let me congratulate the course 25 participants of the National Defense College for the successful completion of their training program. It is my hope that you will use the knowledge acquired to help advance the development of your country and the progress of our continent. I would also like to express my profound gratitude to the federal government and the National Defense College for the continuous support they have given to Ghana and her armed forces over the years. It has been invaluable. Thank you for your attention, and may God bless Ghana and Nigeria, Mother Africa and her people.
And with that, we end today's edition of the Presidential Diary, brought to you by the Communications Directorate at the Presidency. Log on to www.presidency.gov.gh and the other social media platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, as well as on Instagram for more updates. I'm Jefferson Saki. Thanks for your company. See you next time.